Good morning, friends. Thanks so much for tuning into the replay. Today I am putting together instant oatmeal packets for our DIY breakfast stations. So if you have any questions, you can send me a message on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, where I'm CreativLEI on all those places as well. So bear with me because it's a little noisy here. There's a lot of chaos as we try to unpack and settle in. I'm going to have photo bombers and things, but I had posted a picture. I posted a picture on Instagram of getting ready to do our oatmeal packets, and someone asked for the recipes. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Lisa. I blog at CreativLEI.com, which is looking at life creatively. However, in the past week and a half, we have moved, and I have no internet access. So as much as I would love to share my recipes on the blog, I won't be able to write them up and post them until probably mid to late next week. So I thought I would jump here on Periscope while I was making them. Annalise. So here we go. I have got everything set up here, so hopefully you'll still be able to see when I flip the camera around, or I may just place it there. This is my first time trying to do a kitchen scope in the new house, so here goes nothing, right? So we do the DIY breakfast stations from notconsumed.com. And if you go to my blog, CreativLEI.com, there is, I think, a link in the sidebar that will lead you to Not Consumed. That's my affiliate link. And we have used both the breakfast and the lunch stations. And many times I can have my older children, the two that are homeschooled, they can put together a lot of the recipes. And when we did our first big bulk section of them, I let them do the majority of the work. I did probably most of the egg dishes, but they created the protein balls and all that kind of stuff. So we've been doing instant oatmeal packets for a while now because we have a large family. We run through a lot of oatmeal. I like to have the instant oatmeal on hand. It's not the only type that they eat. We do steel cut oats, and we do slow cook oats on occasion as well. But the idea behind the DIY breakfast stations was giving the children things that they could make themselves without me or my husband in the kitchen. And so they know that each packet is a serving size, and they know which size of the cup of hot water to brew in the Keurig in the morning, so that they can get this done themselves. Because quite honestly, I'm making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and every once in a while it's nice that they can just grab something on their own, and I know what's in it. Is instant oatmeal the best thing for them? Maybe not, but it's not the only thing they're eating throughout the day, and they're not eating it every single day. So I kind of err on the side of moderation, and I would rather them eat this than, a whole host of other things. We do keep kefir in the fridge and stuff, so they throughout the day get balanced meals. I know in the fall when I was preparing this at first, I got hammered about using instant oatmeal, and I feel no guilt about it. Like I said, it's not the only thing that they eat. I do pick my battles, and this is not one of those hills I'm going to die on. Because quite frankly, at least I'm controlling what goes in it. So it's not as high in sugar as if we were to purchase the prepackaged instant oatmeals. I'm controlling the amount of sugar that goes in it. And so I'm feeling okay about that. So let me try and get this around so that, let's see, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I don't know, I put the lights on, but I think it might be a little dark. Okay, so most of what I'm using I got at Aldi. The only thing that I think I didn't get at Aldi was the powdered milk. I've cut the package just so I could reach into the bottom, but it's just a package of the Carnation instant milk powder. And I like to add that when we're doing the fruit oatmeal so that they can have like peaches and cream and strawberries and cream. Annalise, what's the problem? Okay, so these are the snack bags, the zip top snack bags, and I do get those at Aldi also. They can be reused, and sometimes we reuse them, but sometimes the kids throw them out before I have a chance to reuse them. So, what? Andrew, give her back her little guitar, please. So bag holds a half a cup of oatmeal, and that's the serving size that's on here, and that gives them a good bowl of oatmeal. And then I like to make them different varieties. So we'll do some with brown sugar and cinnamon, so that would be like plain oatmeal for them. And then others will do dried fruits, or they're the freeze-dried fruits. And also we had tried some instant oatmeal from Aldi that was coffee flavored, and the children love it. So as a treat, we got the cappuccino powder from Aldi, and we're gonna put this in some of their oatmeal packets, and they're kind of stoked about that. You can choose whether or not to give your children instant cappuccino. Like I said, this is a treat. They don't get it every day, but it's a nice treat to have. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put a tablespoon of powdered milk into the packets. The ones that are getting the coffee mix, I know coffee flavored sounds weird, but I thought that the first time I had coffee flavored yogurt, and it was actually really delicious. So the ones that are getting the cappuccino mix, I'm not too worried about putting the powdered milk, because part of the cappuccino mix is powdered milk, so kind of like a hot cocoa mix. So, which hot cocoa and peanut flour, that would be, if you don't have peanut allergies, that would be another good blend. It would be like a Reese's peanut butter cup oatmeal. So I kind of use the teaspoon and tablespoon to kind of give me flavor ideas. So these are the freeze-dried peaches, and we get these at Aldi also. And so they are, if you've ever heard of the company Just Tomatoes, that's the first experience we had with a different variety of the freeze-dried fruits and stuff. And so it's not soft and gummy like dried fruit is. It snaps. So it's freeze-dried. So what I do is just break them up a little bit, because when you add the hot water to make the oatmeal, it's going to rehydrate these fruit pieces a bit. And so I just like to put, you know, a few pieces into the packet, and there's not really a measurement.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, sweetie. You're being awfully loud. So I would add just a couple slices of the peaches, cut up a little bit, and then we'll do a sprinkle of cinnamon. And then I've got brown sugar over here. And I don't have my teaspoon. Let me grab a teaspoon. Okay, so I will do a heaping teaspoon of brown sugar. So, and then just kind of squeeze out as much of the air as I can. And there's peaches and cream. Okay, so we also had freeze-dried apples the last time that I was at Aldi, and so I can do apple cinnamon also. So again, I'm just gonna crunch them up a bit. So it's just like, it's an apple slice, but it's freeze-dried. So nothing's gonna get gummy or go funky in the pantry. Yeah, this is easier because then they can grab the flavors that they like, and all they have to do is add the water and mix it up. Sometimes they still add a little bit of milk from the fridge just to cool it down if they're waiting to eat it. Get your hand out of the brown sugar. So I did 2 slices of apple, I chopped them up, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Yes. And a heaping teaspoon of brown sugar.
Sugar?
Yeah, brown sugar. And so there's apple cinnamon. So I grew up with instant oatmeal, and I had the fruit and cream flavors were my favorite. Sometimes I can find freeze-dried bananas. That's a good one to put in there. Or the freeze-dried raspberries. You can mix peach and raspberry is a good blend. All right, so let's do a cappuccino one. So this one did not have much of the powdered milk, so I'm actually going to do a whole tablespoon of the cappuccino mix. And my bigger children actually really like coffee flavored items. So, and And so since that already has sugar in it, I'm not going to add extra sugar to that one. We're just going to leave that as it is. So there's the, thank you, she's my little helper right now, which I use that word very loosely. So there's cappuccino flavored instant oatmeal. I'll do another one of those. For an added treat, where did the chips go? You don't know, they were just up here. Did you take them?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you moved them? Okay. I have 3 girls and 3 boys at home, although 2 of my boys and 1 of my girls are in public school. After school gets a little crazy around here. Alright, so for brown sugar cinnamon, since I'm not adding, you can't reach the chips. I'll probably do 2 teaspoons of the brown sugar, since there's no fruit that's going to add sweetness, and then a sprinkle of cinnamon, and again, kind of pressing out most of the air, and then mixing it around. So then we've got brown sugar cinnamon instant oatmeal. You got the chips. So another little treat is to add white chocolate chips, and I'm just going to add probably a teaspoon of those. Yeah, we have 2 of ours homeschool, 3 of them go to public school. We don't know. I did put them in. So I added a teaspoon of white chocolate chips to the coffee flavored one. Do you like that? And we'll do that with one of the peach ones too. Is that funny? What's your favorite oatmeal?
Brown.
Brown oatmeal?
No.
No? Wet oatmeal?
White.
White oatmeal. What kind of flavors do you like in it? You don't like cinnamon?
Orange.
You like oranges in it? I've never had orange oatmeal.
I know.
You know?
Brown sugar makes orange.
Brown sugar makes it look orange?
No.
I didn't know that.
It makes brown sugar.
Okay. So we'll put, how about if we put some white chocolate chips in with the peaches? No? You don't like peaches? Okay. So added a couple of white chocolate chips to that one too. What else? What else should we try? So, apples? We did apples. Did you see the apples? All right. So you got to break it up. You're going to eat that one? What does it taste like? So that's how we do our instant oatmeal packets. And so I will,
Mom,
I'll finish making them all, and then I can put them in this bin, and then, actually I'll probably, let me Sharpie them first. I'm using the freeze-dried fruit, Tina. I found this at Aldi in the same section where they have, like the first aisle where they have all the chips and peanuts and things like that. When you get towards the fruit snacks, they have a few varieties of the freeze-dried fruit. We've had strawberries, peaches, and apples. I don't know if I've seen raspberries there yet. You know what we can try? What can we try?
Bananas.
Bananas? Well, we're not going to put smushy bananas in. We'd have to put the dried bananas in, but I don't think we have any of them. Or if we do, they're packed. We have not finished unpacking the kitchen. I think the kitchen will probably take the longest. Okay. So, okay. A little bit of sugar? No! Okay. So I'll just take a Sharpie. There we go. And so this was apple cinnamon.
Apple cinnamon.
Apple cinnamon.
Apple cinnamon.
Okay. So just write it on the pack for the kids to see, and then we'll stick them in our bin, and then this bin goes in the pantry so that they can serve themselves. And it gives me one last task to do. Yes, you can eat them all. One less thing to do in the morning. And so it's helpful for both my public school kids and my homeschool kids to be able to get this done on their own. So any questions? It makes you laugh. So I'm going to go ahead and continue labeling these and putting them in the bag. So how is everyone's week going? We're kind of at the halfway point. And I've got still boxes everywhere. But slowly but surely, I think I unpacked like 5 kitchen boxes yesterday. So that was awesome. I've missed seeing everybody too. I cannot wait until we have internet at home because it's kind of for the birds to not have any internet access. I've not been able to get out to the library to use it there. So because we're busy unpacking. So thank you. Yeah, we're doing it kind of slowly but surely, making progress in your craft space. You can see like that right there is my craft room, but it's, slowly but surely it'll get unpacked. Which one was that? That was Peaches. So yeah, we're just kind of pacing ourselves, but I'm hoping to clear the kitchen floor maybe today because I've got like a kitchen island worth of bags to be unpacked. It's kind of crazy. I know it's a tripping hazard, and I know I'm going to be the one that trips on them because my children are masters at stepping over things. They have no idea how to pick stuff up. A water leak. That was not fun. Not internet. Yeah. It's been a trip to be without internet. We got Dish this week, so that was helpful because if I would have watched one more video of Bubble Guppies, I think I might have gone slightly insane. So at least now we've got a little more variety going on. But yeah, I will be very happy when we have internet at home again, and then I can pull things open on my computer. Oh, that's hard. Yeah, I'm sure he felt awful. That's hard when we're trying to be helpful and we create more work. That happens to me all the time. Yeah, I know. We've joked about the Easter egg hunt. I saw all the memes that said Easter egg hunts are proof that your children can find something if they're trying to, because otherwise they don't. But so far, ours have been actually pretty helpful. We labeled our boxes by Debbie's method, and it's been really good because I can send the children downstairs and say, hey, this box number blah, 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 blah has this item. Find it for me. And they've actually found it, so it was good. Yeah, easy fixes are kind of the only breaks I want to do. So I'm looking forward to getting a few more things unpacked. Yeah, I'm the finder in the house, which is not always my favorite. Not always my favorite. Yeah, this is going to be our last move, Lord willing. Last move by choice, at least, because I am not the moving type. My parents still live in my childhood home, so it's kind of a foreign language to me to move frequently. So I'm kind of done with moving. You can move up here, Tina, but I will tell you, moving is not for the faint of heart. Oh, good. I'm glad did you catch the beginning, or should I go over it again? I've got a couple more packets I can still do. Yeah, so I'm just kind of labeling some of the ones that I finished. Oh, I can do a couple more. Okay, so this one already it's got a ½ cup of instant oatmeal, and it also has about a tablespoon of the powdered milk, and that's kind of the base, and then I add the flavors to that. So everything else is kind of eyeballed, not measured, so those are really the only 2 measurements I get. So for the fruit-based ones, I have, yeah, the last time we moved, I had 1 child and a belly, a pregnant belly. So moving with 6 children, that was coordination that I just was not ready for. So this is freeze-dried fruit, and it differs from dried fruit is that it's brittle. So It actually works incredibly well with instant oatmeal because as you add the hot water, it kind of rehydrates. And so I just take a couple slices and break them up by hand or squish them in the bag, and I add those to the packet. And eventually I can write these all up on the blog once we have internet again. Yeah, and everybody survived the move, so that was like the big prayer request, was that we would survive the move and still love each other because it was hard. And then I added a sprinkle of cinnamon, and now I'm adding a heaping teaspoon of brown sugar. For the hot water, we have the children do this, and so they use the Keurig, and we usually have a sticky note on it that tells them what size. So let's see. So here's the Keurig. Sorry, I'm unplugged in. So my children know that it's the tiny coffee cup, not the tiny one, but the next size up, which I believe is about 6 ounces of water. So they do that so that I'm not worrying about them having a pot of boiling water on the stove. They can just get the hot water right from the Keurig, and they can do that directly into their bowl. So about 6 ounces of hot water works pretty well. And then my children usually add just a little splash of milk to cool it down and to add a little extra liquid. So there's peaches and cream. So yeah, that was kind of one of the good things, was teaching them how to safely use the Keurig. So it's kind of self-serving because they can make us cups of coffee on occasion, which is nice. But they know how to fix their hot chocolate, because we'll usually we'll keep, it's not made right now because it's kind of lower on the priority list. They can do hot chocolate just by getting the water. They know where the tea bags are, things like that. So they can kind of help themselves, and they have mugs that are for their use. And so that was peaches and cream. Another one you can do is the apples. Exactly. Or just when you're busy, like if I've got diapers to change and stuff, but I've got hungry children, they can certainly serve themselves. And that's been part of the beauty of the DIY breakfast stations. So again, I did 2 slices of the freeze-dried apples, and I'm just snapping them into pieces. I'll add a sprinkle of cinnamon, about a heaping teaspoon or packed teaspoon of brown sugar, kind of shake it all down and press out most of the air. And there you go, apple cinnamon. So for brown sugar cinnamon, because I'm not adding any fruit, which would give it a little more sweetness, I will do 2 teaspoons of the brown sugar. And then sprinkle of cinnamon, shake that down, and press out most of the air. So there's brown sugar cinnamon, and then as a treat for my children, I use the instant cappuccino mix that's also from Aldi, and I'll do a tablespoon of that. And I don't add any sugar to that one because there's already sugar in that mix. So that's a treat for the children. And we can add a couple of it. I feel like it does save money because, okay, so each packet, these bags are about $2 and change. They're under $3, and I will get quite a few bags out of this. I can probably do at least 10 packets of the what's it called? Of the peaches or the apples, or each of them. And then the powdered milk, I think I've got 30-something bags of oatmeal currently. And 1 can of the quick oats has about 30 servings in it. So that was my aim, was to get 30 bags of oatmeal done. This is under $2. This is under $3. Yeah, maple, I have added, I've added maple extract to to the packets before, and that was good. But if you can get maple sugar in place of the brown sugar, that would be fabulous. Or any other of the freeze-dried fruits that you can find. I was mentioning earlier that I like bananas in cream, so if we find freeze-dried bananas, I like to do that. Ooh, yeah, maple and brown sugar, that's good. So I like to add all the flavor into this packet because my children do not have a lot of self-control when it comes to syrups and things from the refrigerator. So if I tell them like, oh, you can just add syrup, they will like pour half the bottle of the maple syrup, which is not what I want them to do. So we add all the flavors in them, and for me, it's not so, the portion control is not so much about their weight, because my children are all healthy weight, but it's about teaching them not to waste. And my children have this thing where a portion is the full size of the bowl, and honestly, it's not. So they will fix themselves a big bowl of something and only eat half of it. So when we kind of pre-portion it out, it's not so much that Aldi, all the things that I was using today, I've purchased at Aldi. It's not so much that I'm worried about them eating too much, because certainly they can have 2 servings if they want. But I want them to finish what they've taken and not end up dumping it in the trash. So if I keep the packets to a proper serving size, then it limits a bit of what they'll throw out. So at least that's the goal. So I do the same thing with their cold cereal also. So this is the bin of cold cereal. Yeah, I did. They do take it now. I'm so in the habit of paying cash or using debit that it doesn't, for me, it hasn't changed anything, but it's great for when I have to send my husband to the store because he doesn't always carry cash. So it's nice to know that they have the option now. So I do portion out their cold cereal as well, so that we don't have waste. And I know some people will say, well, the bags are waste, but these are reusable. Since there's no liquid in here, if they just place the empty bags back into this container, I can refill it with the next batch of cereal. And so then that helps prevent them fighting over who's got the box in front of them. I don't know if that happened to anyone else, but I know it was a problem with me and my sisters growing up. You know, I always wanted, who wants to look at the back of the box? So we've got less waste in the bowls and less fighting over who's looking or searching for the prize and stuff, although we're buying the cereal at Aldi, so there's no prize in the box, just the price is the prize, I think. And so that's what we do. So these will go on the same shelf in the pantry, and they've got their instant oatmeals, and you still only get to have 1 pack. And we have a snack bin too, and so he's browsing the snack bin. And all this idea of having the bins of this all set to go was from notconsume.com. There is a link on the sidebar of my blog to that, and these are from the DIY breakfast stations. These I found at Aldi last week. So I don't know if I have any empty ones. So they're cool because they're just the white bins, and they have like a rubber liner on the back, on the bottom. So I'm using them in the pantry. Let me see. Okay. So this is so my pantry, this is my new pantry. So the bins fit perfectly in there. So this is where they can pull their breakfast item. And I check because if your store still has them, they might be on sale this week. When I went, they were $2.99, and that was their clearance. And it was in the same aisle where they have most of like the kitchen type accessories. And the other thing they had were these shelf extenders, or collapsible shelves is what they were. Let's see, let me pull this out. So I was looking for ways to make good use of my space. And so that's what they have. I'm using this in the pantry. It says it holds 25 pounds. I haven't used it in here to challenge that yet, but I do have another one in my spice cabinet. So yeah, it's crazy. I am very scattered for a lot of things, but there are certain things that I need organized. So there's their breakfast, and then the snacks, we do a bin of snacks. These won't stay here. They're in here for now, but that'll probably be a second snack bin. And so I will do portions out of that too, because my children, again, if I give them the whole box, they will finish the whole box and think that that's a serving size, but there are 6 of them that need the snacks, so we do portion those out so that they can just grab that. So there's that. Any questions? So, and it's kind of selfish because this is what makes my day a little bit easier, that I don't have to serve them things that they really can do independently. So that's kind of that, I think. Then Fido, yes, exactly. Or, me or my husband will come in, we'll see the last person that has the box and they'll get in trouble. Meanwhile, the others were the ones that kind of polished it off before we could see. So thank you. Yeah, and I was using this system at the old house also, except I used the old not Rubbermaid, but the shoe boxes, the plastic shoe boxes. Yeah, mine always leave the empty box in there. I think it's good. Even my 3-year-old, she knows how to serve herself from these things. And she's the queen of serving herself from the snack bin. She fills her backpack. So when all the snacks are gone, I usually know to check her backpack because she's creating a stash. But yeah, so if you can't find the bins at Aldi, 1 second. So these are the CreativLEI shoe boxes, and this is what I've used previously for our breakfast stations, and I just labeled them. And the covers, sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't. They seem to get lost in the shuffle of things. But the new bins from Aldi were awesome because they fit my drawers perfectly. But if you can't find those, these are a good idea too. And we did the breakfast ones. We had lunch ones because the lunches get made ahead and put in the freezer. So we keep these like that so they know how to find all that stuff. Yes, I do make scrambled eggs, and then that was part of the DIY breakfast stations, was to make those ahead, and we made them into croissant sandwiches and also breakfast pizzas, and we froze all of those, and that was awesome because that meant that the kids could have eggs in the morning without anyone having to stand over the stove all morning. So that was kind of a new thing to me, to freeze eggs, and we froze the egg muffins also, like baby quiches. Or made omelet muffins. That was quite helpful, and they defrosted pretty well. I would just put a paper towel under them in the microwave and then heated them up so that it would catch any water that came out as they were reheating. But yeah, it was totally a lifesaver. So prior to that, I had never thought about pre-making some of those items. We did egg burritos and things like that. So it took a while. Like when we first did it this fall, we did everything at once. And it took us a good 3 days to cook down and prepare all the different things. Pancake muffins were a huge hit. We're due for a batch of those in the freezer because they're usually the first things to go. Like, that was something I had never considered, was putting pancakes in muffins. But it was so much easier, especially if you have a larger family and you're used to pancakes taking 2 hours by the time you get done with the griddle on with all of them. So pancake muffins was excellent. Yeah, but now that we've done that whole big batch, we've learned which recipes were most popular with our children, and so now we can make it in small stages. So today we're doing the instant oatmeal, and then the children will make the protein balls, which are just like the no-bake oatmeal energy balls. So they'll make those all on their own, and then those will be ready for the freezer. And then I'll choose another day and make ahead all the egg items. I won't do it all at one stretch again. But I wanted to test everything out, so that was a good way to do that. And we used it as a week worth of school as well, which our reviewer loved that idea. So it kind of depends on what your family schedule looks like. For us, it worked, and it worked in the fall. But now, throughout the year, we've just been remaking bits and pieces of it as we go, and that's been a little easier to manage because it was overwhelming because we had everything lined up on the dining room table for a while. I do have some recipes pinned of things that I thought would make good ideas for the make-aheads. And so we kind of go through and then we kind of adapt things to our palates. So it's slowly incorporating the ideas. You certainly don't have to do it all at once, but even if you just go ahead and start with the instant oatmeal and a couple of the make-ahead egg things, it really does streamline that morning process. Whether you're homeschoolers or public schoolers, like I said, we have both here, and so streamlining that breakfast and lunch stuff was key, because otherwise it gets really, really crazy here in the morning. So any other questions before I shoot off here? So, because we do not, pancake muffins, yeah, I'll have to look that up, because it was a regular pancake recipe, just using it in the muffin pan, and then we added some add-ins. So I'll have to find that. I may have pinned some extra varieties too, because our kids really like them. We did blueberry, chocolate chip, and maple pancake muffins, and they were the first things to go out of everything we made. So I'll have to make those again and just get better. The muffin liners that we used stuck a little bit, so I did get parchment ones for this next round, so that we won't lose any of that. And then hopefully next week when we have internet, I'll be able to do a full post on some of our breakfast ideas. Like I started off with the not consumed DIY breakfast stations, and then we've just added and taken away for our family's food preferences, because I was able to notice which things did not get eaten, and we can make some changes and tweak it for what they will eat and what they eat the most of there. So I'm going to hop off since I'm using data, since we don't have home internet, but it's been good to chat with you all, and I can't wait to get back on regularly. Thank you, Crystal. I've got hopefully my kitchen will be unpacked this week, and then maybe more of my art room will be unpacked for the coming week. And so that way next week I'll be good to go, right? But thank you so much for joining. It's been a pleasure to be able to chat with you guys again. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.